Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's take a look at every Premier League club's most expensive signing who really can't get anywhere near the first team this season, just rotting away on the bench, or even just left on their couch. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Mesut Ozil, 42 million. Yeah, this is mental. When Arsenal paid £42 million for Mesut Ozil back in 2013, half the Arsenal fan base nearly had a stroke outside the stadium. Did they ever think that fast forward 7 years into the future, not only would Mikel Arteta be their manager, but he'd be benching a world champion? Actually, not even benching, he wouldn't even have him in his squad. Ozil is arguably the most talented footballer at the club, and he's essentially just being told to spend the entire season eating calippos on the couch. Oh yeah, and being paid £250,000 a week to do so. Clearly he's got the easiest job in the world. Just what? Did Arteta catch him in bed with his wife? Did Ozil accidentally back over his dog when reversing out of the car park? Just why would you toss a supremely talented footballer away like an empty packet of Monster Munch? Aston Villa, Wesley Moraes, 22 million. Okay, yes, to be fair, Wesley Moraes is still out with a knee injury. But let's be honest, even if he was fit, he is not getting past Ollie Watkins back in the Dean Smith Aston Villa team. Watkins is everything Wesley isn't. Fast, mobile, starts play outside the box. Wesley is just like the modern day version of Christian Benteke at Villa Park, just without the goals, i.e. about as agile as a post box. So yeah, I'd imagine when he does return, it'll be a £22 million waste of cash loaned out to Turkey. Brighton, Alireza Jahanbash, 18 million. Okay, to be fair, Alireza Jahanbash did play 20 minutes against Liverpool at the weekend, but is that really enough for a club record £18 million winger? This Iranian has talent, but apart from that one special bicycle kick against Chelsea, it's been 2 years wasted on the Brighton sidelines. Graham Potter clearly doesn't fancy him. He hasn't started a single Premier League match this season. He was out of the matchday squad entirely for 4 weeks running, and yeah, his 20 minutes against Liverpool were the most consecutive Premier League minutes he's had all season. Why would you bench such a goal-scoring threat like Jahanbash, only to persist with Aaron Connolly week after week? This is Potter's biggest mistake since he decided to impregnate his best mate's sister. I might be thinking of another Potter. Burnley, Matai Vydra, 10 million. I think it's clear Matai Vydra belongs nowhere near the Premier League. He's been at Burnley 2 years now since arriving for £10 million from Derby County, and while he was a championship goal machine, he has just 3 Premier League goals for Burnley. No wonder Sean Dyche won't let him in his team. He started one game this season, given a chance to impress against Southampton at home, where he largely resembled a donkey on roller skates. Since that game in mid-September, he's been allowed to waddle onto the pitch for a combined 29 minutes, and considering the club were unable to score in 5 of those games, it's quite embarrassing that Dyche didn't want him on the pitch. Chelsea, Kepa Arrizabalaga, 72 million. Yeah, no prizes for guessing this one. Kepa Arrizabalaga is the most expensive goalkeeper of all time. No single shot stopper who ever breathed air was ever bought for a higher price than the £72 million Chelsea desperately chucked Athletic Bilbao in 2018. But at 26, this man finds himself warming the bench for Edouard Mendy. His time at Stamford Bridge has been a nightmare. Yeah, he started well, briefly kept David De Gea on the Spain bench, but ever since publicly embarrassing his manager by refusing to come off the pitch in the cup final, his confidence has been shredded in a blender. Crystal Palace, Christian Benteke, 27 million. How Christian Benteke's agent has managed to get his client 2 consecutive £30 million moves off the back of just 3 half-decent seasons in a terrible Aston Villa team under Paul Lambert. Someone get that man a knighthood. To think this guy once scored a bicycle kick at Old Trafford. Nowadays, he looks like he'd break a hip climbing into the goddamn bath. How he still gets in the Belgium squad, I can only assume he's got naked photos of Roberto Martinez stashed in his wallet. He hasn't started a single game for Palace this season, even spending 1 week training with the under 21s, and his 24 minutes against Newcastle last Friday was the longest he's been allowed onto the pitch all season. Crazy above, what has happened to this man's career? Says the YouTuber in his mid-20s who hasn't received a hug since 2016. Everton, Cenk Tosun, 27 million. Yeah, here's another massive waste of money. Apparently Turkish goal machine Cenk Tosun is essentially a £27 million stain left behind by Big Sam Allardyce. Now, to be fair, he has only just recovered from cruciate ligament surgery, but hands up, who thinks Carlo Ancelotti is going to pick him ahead of Dominic Calvert-Lewin anytime soon? Christ above, DCL could be knocked down by a bus, and Ancelotti would still chuck this guy's lifeless body onto the pitch ahead of Tosun. Fulham, Jean Sarri, 27 million. Most of you probably assume Jean Sarri had left Fulham, right? That guy once tipped for Barcelona by Xavi? It's remarks like that which probably cost that man the new cap gig in the summer. A world-class footballer, yes, but tipping Sarri for Barca, are we sure this guy doesn't have a brain made of mashed potato? Sarri was a £27 million signing from Nice, a club record transfer, and started well to the point that Danny Murphy was stuck a match of the day tipping him to be Fulham's best ever midfielder. But no, it's just nonsense. Christ up, he's still at Craven Cottage, but he's been left out of the squad, meaning that he's free to spend his weekends crying to a bowl of shredded wheat. Leeds, Matthijs bogus £900,000. Okay, to be fair, Marcelo Bielsa is making great use of his squad. There's very few players who are left out. I'll go for Matthijs Bogus, a teenage attacking midfielder from Poland who arrived from Ruch Chorzów for £900,000 last year And yeah, no, he doesn't quite get in the team. Leicester, Ayoze Perry's 30 million. Lads, it's a shame that Brendan Rodgers is currently leaving a £30 million Ayoze Perry stuck on the sidelines. Yes, most Geordies will tell you that he's just a walking lump of Brill cream with a first touch that would rival a broken teapot, but lads, in 2019 the guy was in the form of his life, scoring 2 hat-tricks against Southampton. He scored 15 goals in that calendar year, and single-handedly made Jordan Pickford the biggest laughing stock on Tyneside. But now, he hasn't started a game since October, being left out completely for the last 4 games. What did he do? Accidentally step on Brendan Rodgers' cat?
Liverpool, Divock Origi, 10 million. Okay, I assume Diogo Jota will be a £45 million signing left to rot on Jurgen Klopp's bench, but fair play, he's been utterly brilliant this season. I'll have to go for Divock Origi, a £10 million signing from Lille in 2014. Remember when Liverpool fans spent that summer pretending he was better than Romelu Lukaku? Spoilers, he wasn't. Listen, he's a cult hero at Anfield, but in the same way Vladimir Smeacer or Neil Miller are. For moments, not for brilliant seasons like Luis Suarez or Fernando Torres. Despite Jurgen Klopp's injury crisis, the Belgian has been given just 1 minute of Premier League football this season. Lads, he's only 25, pack your bags and go. Your job at Anfield is done. The fans will love you forever, but stop wasting your life going rusty on the bench.
Man City, John Stones, 50 million. Okay, yes, this is bad timing because I know John Stones played against Burnley and he started both Champions League games against Olympiacos. But is that really the standard he should be aspiring to? 4 years after a £50 million switch from Everton, he sat out 8 Premier League games in a row. Clearly Pep Guardiola trusts him in defence, the same way most human beings would trust Michael Jackson to babysit their kids. Man United, Eric Bailly. Okay, this was bad timing. I was going to talk about Donny van de Beek, a £40 million arrival from Ajax in September, before being largely ignored for going on 3 months. But then he plays all 90 minutes in that impressive comeback win at Southampton, so never mind that. Instead, step forward Eric Bailly. Just a casual £30 million chucked to this man's head back in 2016. Yeah, I know he currently has a muscle injury, but still, even when he's fit, is he really getting back into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team? Considering the last time he took the pitch, the team conceded 6 goals at home, I'm guessing Ole would rather stick a dead pigeon in his back four than Bailly. Newcastle, Dwight Gale, 10 million. Okay, yes, I know Dwight Gale has been injured, but come on, Steve Bruce clearly doesn't rate him. Yes, even for a Newcastle team clearly allergic to shots on target, Bruce still won't want to give Dwight Gale a run up front. Probably hasn't forgiven him for missing an open goal in the FA Cup quarter-final against Man City. Listen, he was a £10 million signing from Crystal Palace in 2016 and did his job well, scored a bunch of goals to get them promoted at the first attempt, but he's clearly no longer needed at St James's Park. He needs to go. Sheffield United, Jayden Bogle, 3 million. Okay, there's not a lot of players who don't have a chance of making Chris Wilder's down and out team, but Jayden Bogle is a highly rated 20-year-old right back who arrived from Derby County for 3 million in the summer, and no, can't get within a hamster's nipple of the first team. Southampton, Fraser Forster, 11 million. Listen, Fraser Forster must feel like sticking his head in the microwave. Last season he rebuilt his confidence and form out on loan at Celtic, but now it's back to warming the bench week in, week out at 32 years of age. Listen, this guy was a pricey £11 million arrival from Celtic in 2014 and was initially a great signing. It's just that for the last 4 years, he's clearly had his confidence flushed down the toilet, and I'm not sure why his confidence has disappeared. What's happened to the man? Did his wife walk out on him for his younger brother? Tottenham, Davinson Sanchez, 42 million. Listen, Davinson Sanchez initially looked like a great signing from Ajax in 2017, even if massively pricey at £42 million, but now he rots on the bench. To be fair, did he really think he was going to survive and being part of that Tottenham defence which conceded 3 goals in the last 10 minutes to chuck 2 points out the window against West Ham? I mean, it's like taking the last waffle in Rebel Wilson's fridge and expecting to leave that house with your life. He's barely been seen since, left out of 4 matchday squads, dumped on the bench for the trip to Stamford Bridge. Clearly Jose thinks this guy is a soggy defensive ham sandwich. West Brom, Kieran Gibbs, 6 million. I remember the days when Kieran Gibbs used to captain Arsenal. I also remember the days when Kieran Gibbs was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. According to one referee anyway. Anyway, a £6 million arrival from Arsenal in 2017. After 13 years in North London, it looked like a coup for West Brom. Yeah, no, he hasn't played since 45 minutes in that 5-2 walloping at Everton in September. Clearly Slaven Bilic doesn't rate him. West Ham, Issa Diop, 22 million. It's mental. 18 months ago, Issa Diop was seen as one of the best defenders outside the top 4. Christ above, Man United were sniffing around a £75 million deal. Instead, they spent that money on a human fridge. But Christ above, Maguire gets criticism. Can you imagine the memes of Diop was stumbling about Old Trafford? He's a £22 million signing from Toulouse, has played just 27 minutes of football since that 2-1 defeat at the Emirates. Clearly he hasn't been watching the tapes of Phil Jagielka that David Moyes must have given him, now has he? Wolves, Fabio Silva, 35 million. Listen, I know Fabio Silva is a teenage winger and one for the future, but the reality is that he's a £35 million lump of talent who hasn't started a single Premier League match, spending 5 games stuffed to the bench for the whole game. Still, probably gives him more time to research his videos of HITC 7s, am I right? Anyway, that's the end of it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.